Okay, GK, just imagine this. Imagine you pull up to the show. Not only is your chair is literally an airplane chair on a mound of sand with a background behind that was like a blue background. Next to, and I have a double seat airplane chair, and next to me on the chair is a skeleton, and its mouth moves when Jason talks.
I like it. Yeah.
Do you think that, where would you rather be? Would you rather be on that set with your toes in the sand, or on this piece of shit with a fucking ferny pad with a picture with the show card laying against it with the dirty blanket and an Omar?
Do I have to agree with you?
No, you don't have to agree.
Okay, I mean, this is cool also.
He's
if we're doing just like, if you just hear us, it doesn't make a difference either way, you know?
Oh, fuck. Okay, well.
Because I just listen to the show. I never watch the YouTube.
Anyway. People watch the YouTube. Half of our people watch the YouTube. So, Jason, just one more chance here. Why did you scratch the Desert Island set?
I had to.
Okay. I'm not going to pursue this anymore. I'm going to talk to GK. He's a man with limited time. He's doing a lot of things. GK, the commander-in-chief, the big colonel, the big muckety-muck of the MSK crew. I don't know if any of you people know what that is. For those not in the know who've never even heard of, like, who think graffiti is like, you know, like a funky dude on roller skates doing the splits and pop locking and like spraying the word God on a train. Because there's still people that think that. There's still people that think graffiti is like.
I think more people think it's like a 14-year-old Mexican kid with a backpack and Jenko jeans.
Right. Maybe so.
Yeah.
But if you know what graffiti is, you're going to know what MSK is. And if you know what graffiti is, you're going to know who GK is. And you're going to understand the weight and levity of him being the master and commander of the MSK crew, maybe the colonel, maybe the head motherfucker in charge.
The vessel.
Or a vessel. He's just a humble guy.
Vessel.
GK, we had a 35 year. I mean, 35 years is a long time.
Yeah, for anything.
I mean, I thought it was 20, and I kept thinking like it's my 20-year graffiti.
No,
it's 35 years. I was like, what the fuck?
I've known you 30 years alone, just me and you.
Jesus Christ!
Yeah.
I mean, I knew you when you were
a baby. No, I had no facial hair. I had
you were a baby.
A couple hairs on my nuts, and that was about it.
You had I remember to be exact, you had 6 hairs on your nuts. We counted that. We counted your nut hair.
The first meeting.
Yes, we were like, okay, let's see those nuts.
Nut check.
6 hairs. Can we let them in? Yeah, let's let them in.
I couldn't get an AWR at that point.
No, you couldn't. Yeah. That's why we created a baby crew for the guys with baby nuts.
The prepubescent crew.
Yeah,
that was us.
Yeah, prepubescent preteen crew. Yeah, you know, like I guess we'll go all the way back since you want to date me and say that I've known you for 30 years, which is true. Which I knew you when I was a teenager. You were a pre-teenager, probably.
I was probably 15.
Right.
I would say, yeah.
And you know, and like you were the young dude who was like hanging out with these older graffiti writers and really excited with the idea of like being around these guys who are from this crew called AWR. And he was like, you used to before his GK was Gank, and you're just like a little shit, and you're running around, and you're just like
yeah.
And this was deep in Agoura.
I'm not from Agoura.
You're not from
Calabasas.
You're from Calabasas.
Just to make that's like saying Santa Monica and Venice.
Sure.
Almost.
Okay, but I remember that a lot of the intersections happened in Agoura, right?
Yeah, because we had we had friends out there and crew members out there and a couple party houses, at least two party houses. 2, maybe 3 party houses.
Yeah.
You know, that we'd all like converge on and drink 40s of Mickey's and shit like that. Real like 90s type stuff.
Yeah. Oh my God. It was so crazy. And then I come up from LA and I just was like, I honestly don't think I'd ever been to the suburbs. And I just like, what is this? This is crazy.
You know, what's funny is I was just telling the story the other day. The first time I ever got hit up, like your classic LA, like where you from?
Like where you from? Yeah.
I was in Venice and I was into skateboarding, but I sucked thoroughly at skateboarding. And, I went there and I had like a World Industries. Pavilion? Yeah. I had like a Ron Chapman shirt on.
Yeah.
And these kids ran up on me and they're like, where are you from?
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm from Calabasas. And they look like confused.
Like,
I was like, no, it's like over, like if you drive this way, get the 101.
You didn't get it.
And it's just like, and they're just like, never mind, you know?
They gave up.
Yeah, they did. It was fuck, you know, like.
Yeah.
So.
That's funny.
That's a nice introduction.
Later on, you figured out what that meant. You're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
They're asking for my gang affiliation.
Yeah. And then that became like, you know, that's a major thing in Los Angeles. Those words together. Where are you from?
Yeah. Where are you from? And then, you know.
Could mean life or death.
Could mean life or death. And then they can go so far as to like, you say you're not from anywhere. They go, well, you got to pull your shirt up.
Right.
You know, I remember they
Check
started
your
doing that
shoelaces.
like, 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Like I'd hear about that, you know?
Or then when someone says where you're from, and then you say da 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 da, and they say, oh hell no, and then you're like, wait, where are you guys from? And they're like, we're from over here, and you're like, oh wait, I know so and so.
Right.
I know Big Spooky.
Yeah.
And my auntie lives over there. Or
Yeah.
some fucking shit. You make up something and try to like relate to the savages. They're trying to.
Right. Or they
Cut
say
your
where
throat.
you're from, and you tell them, and they're like, but where's your grandma from?
Yeah.
You're like, oh, and they're like, oh.
Where's your auntie from? That's
Yeah.
from a movie.
Yeah. Yeah, man. You know, it was a hairy time in
I think it's still hairy.
It is still there. I
Yeah,
talked to
yeah.
this kid that works at this kid I know. He works at a restaurant I go to. I know him for a long time. I'm not gonna say his name, but he told me he lived off of Virgil, and I just saw him the other day. It was like a week ago, and he said he moved. I was like, why'd you move? He goes, well, I was walking down the street in Virgil, and 3 dudes just hopped out, ran up to me, stuck a knife in my neck, and were like, where the fuck are you from? He's like, I'm not from anywhere. And they like pulled his shirt up, and they're like, you know, I mean, that's a pretty hard sweat.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like he's, you know, it was just by the virtue of him being a youngster. You know?
Right.
He's a young dude, not white, in a t-shirt, and it's like, you know, he's also like, it's on the same street as like Squirrel and Courage Bagels, where it's like all, you know, it's all well-off kids waiting in line to get bagels and to get pesto bowls, you know, which are like $30 and like delicious.
Yeah, but I feel like that's like I'm neutral now. I'm not like a threat. I don't look.
No,
gangster.
you've
Yeah,
aged out.
yeah.
We're at an age where it's like there's no.
Yeah.
You're not even.
I'm totally good.
You actually, kids can't even see you. You're not even
I'm
visible.
totally
You're
invisible.
like,
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like
100%.
what? What is that? No, they don't. No. Yeah.
You know, what's funny is fast forward a little bit in this. Our anniversary was here in LA, and we got a space in South Central LA. Eclipse put it together, or helped put that part together. And it was in the hood. It was in like there was a neighborhood like a block over.
Yeah. There's like 3 neighborhoods around there, right?
Well, there was like a few, but like I wasn't paying the inside. I was paying the inside. I wasn't paying the outside. And were you there when they were dumping?
No.
Yeah, there's fucking bunch of shots got let off, like 7 on
Where?
the outside,
Close to the
and like
wall?
it was like ricocheting off the buildings right next to ours.
Are you serious?
Yeah, but the joke before that though was like we're gonna get run up by somebody, right?
Yeah, of course.
But like we had a couple guys from the crew. They're from New Zealand.
Yeah.
And I thought it'd be hilarious if like someone like like where are you from? And they're like New Zealand, mate.
Yeah,
You know?
mate.
And they're just like
Yeah,
what is New Zealand? Like I've never heard of that.
you're basically. I thought about it driving up. I was like, okay, this like street. And I'm like,
Yeah.
So you're basically lighting up a whole building.
Yeah.
Like there's like, I don't know, 100 guys out there maybe.
I think we had close to 70, 75. Yeah.
But on the outside, there's 30 guys in
least,
various types of dudes just painting all kinds of shit.
Yeah, but we like again, we got all the different socioeconomic classes, races, no colored lines.
Yeah, no color lines.
We get hip hop and heavy metal and punk rock and just this sort of
We do cover
hodgepodge of humans.
Color all the musical spectrums.
So I think if you were like strictly on that like gangster shit, where you're just like have to have a shaved head and you only are allowed to wear certain kind of pants and shoes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think you see our group of people and we look like space aliens down there.
Yeah, but also it's like
Most of us.
But there's also
don't.
something to be said for just like, what the fuck are you doing here?
Oh,
And like
sure,
the
sure.
wong guy comes, he's like, let's just shoot one of these guys.
no doubt. Yeah.
Like let's just shoot one of these guys in the legs just for the hell
fun.
of it.
Yeah, just 'cause
that's
that'd be
not
cool.
even like
I know.
It's like so I thought about it too, and I was talking to Paisa, and he's like, I'm not trying to be here after dark. I'm like, you're smart. I'm not trying to walk
But
around.
we cleaned it up after dark.
Yeah, you're like, okay, guys, get inside. Just,
But that was one of the things that was cool about that because we had the 2 big outside walls.
Yeah.
And then we had like 4 walls inside.
Yeah.
And we had this huge fucking gate so we could like totally be contained.
yeah.
And like, drink and smoke and bullshit and not have to
Dude,
worry about anything.
it's crazy. Where did that dude Hammer come from? Alloy brought him over to the office. I was like,
So Hammer's from Omaha, Nebraska, and resides in Kansas City.
but like, he's a legit bodybuilder.
He's pretty buff.
Like
Yeah.
I think I think he's a bod. Like I think he competes. So think about this. Just put this together in your head. He's like he's a real writer. He's not he's not like a hobbyist.
He's really
like,
good,
I've seen his shit. It's like insane, right?
He's totally good, yeah.
Really good. But also he's like a bodybuilder who spends 4 months cutting weight and puts on the little fucking thing and like poses in front of lights. And I'm like, when have you ever seen that? Of course you've seen buff writers, but I've never seen an actual bodybuilder as a real graffiti writer or anything even close to it.
I guess you're right.
Those two worlds never mix in my vision, in my
Yeah,
experience.
it's unique. It's a new thing.
It's a new thing.
Yeah.
But listen, we're in a new age. Like it's everything is so weird and different, and like people have access to so much stuff, and it's like a guy like that, you know, without the internet, he probably would have never existed without seeing, you know, like magazines wouldn't have cut it, you know.
Yeah, we got kind of a neat crew. There's a lot of crews that are, you know, our size or bigger that a lot of the guys are real samey. You know, even with like, we put in like 12 people.
Yeah.
And we got one that looks like Kurt Cobain.
That dude's sick. Who's that guy?
I don't want to reveal, but he's the fucking man.
Wait, hold on. Just beep this. Will you beep this? No. I don't know. Will you remember to beep this?
Okay.
What's his name?
Who looks, you know, like a space cadet.
Straight up. He looks straight up fucking Seattle, 1998. Just like, and the dude he's next to
looks like fucking the devil.
That dude, evil, like those, and their homies, evil son of a bitch.
Well, they get up together and it's like this, like
that's the thing.
They make beautiful music together.
It's so funny.
You know what I mean?
That's the thing. I was tripping out on them too. I was looking at those two guys who got in. I'm like, they're homies.
Yeah.
But they couldn't be more opposite looking people.
Yeah.
And as a matter of fact, when you see them out, you're like, you probably are like, because if you don't know what's going on, you're just like, what's bringing? Those guys must be like either in a band or they're junkies or they're in a church group.
But that's the beauty about graffiti. So it's like when I grew up. Like thinking gangster stuff was like the coolest, you know, like gangster's very like, it's very limited, you know, like what you can say and do and act. And
that's true.
Graffiti writers are fucking all over the place.
All over the place.
Like we got kids that grew up in the projects, we're trust fund kids, you know, like all hang out together and we share this fucking same hobby or lifestyle, whatever the fuck you want to call it. And
so our man GK, he put together the 35th MSK reunion. And the old heads decided to tag along. All right, that's the AWR crew. At first, it was an MSK thing, and then all of a sudden, all the old dinosaurs came out of the woodwork. And let me tell you something. I never went to a high school reunion, but this was the equivalent to that for me because this is like I didn't go to high school. I went to AWR school. Like I didn't.
Right.
I barely. You know, that's what I did.
University.
Yeah, AW University. I mean, that was like my fucking shit, and I was like, this is all I want to do for the rest of my life.
Mm-hmm.
But they, and you see these guys, and like you're just seeing like, what? Tell.
Yeah, there's a bunch of that.
Like read. Like what? Like these. I mean, these are guys who like they were in it when I started. You know what I mean? And it was crazy. It's crazy. They're all Hayes. I mean, it's so good seeing Hayes.
Yeah, for sure.
Hey, I mean, was that? Do you
Hayes
talk to Hayes?
Yeah, I talked to Hayes a little bit. In this past month, I've talked to more people than I normally do.
Yeah.
Ramping up this.
Yeah.
And one of my hopes was that, you know, that'll continue and more of these people start to, because over time, you know, we go all our different ways and sometimes we just kind of forget, you know?
Yeah.
And, you know,
well, everyone has their click, you know?
But also just dumb life shit, you know, paying bills and family and fucking kids and all that shit. So it's like, you forget some shit happens and 5 years passes, 10 years passes.
Yeah.
And, you know, I've been doing better now as far as trying to communicate, but there have been times where like I've gone maybe a year without really talking to anybody.
Yeah.
You know, or even like painting that much.
Yeah.
So I think this has been a happy, healthy thing for everybody involved. You know, I saw a lot of people I haven't seen in over 20 years.
Yeah.
I met new people.
Yeah. You put a bunch of guys down.
We put 12 or 13 people. We've never done that before. It's kind of a big deal for us.
Yeah. Seriously. It's usually like squeaking in one or two guys and it's a whole thing. This was like, all right, let's just get some fucking heavy hitters in. See what happens.
Well, I got a plan in place.
Yeah.
So we'll see how, you know, maybe we'll do the pod in 5 years and
see what happens.
See how that went. It's either gonna be a total disaster or, you know,
personal story. I do this. I sign up for things on a whim all the time. I sign up for some sort of thing that ends up being a subscription service. I signed up. Perfect fucking example. I bought a candle. I don't remember where it was from. I bought a candle from some place that popped up on Instagram, an Instagram ad. I bought a candle. And I did it quickly because everything's so fast. You can just boom, 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 press a button and it's coming. I buy a candle. It gets delivered to my house. And little did I know, it's a fucking candle subscription. They're such sons of bitches. It's a candle subscription. Like, would we do that to you? Would I sell you a t-shirt and just by the way, there's one coming every month for the next 16 years? No, I would not do that to you because I'm not a shisty swindler trying to get a fucking buck out of rock.
It's an ambush. It's a scam.
It's an ambush. It's a scam. It's a goddamn, it's a fallacy wrapped in a lie, dropped inside of a riddle in a website that you press your PayPal button to and you update your address. And I'll tell you this,
It's like a virus for your credit card.
It's a virus for your credit card. And, you know, so I get this candle in the mail, and then I get 3 more candles before I figure out how to kill the subscription. Well, you know, that was before I had Rocket Money. Now I set up my Rocket Money. Rocket Money, formerly known as Truebill, is a personal finance app that finds and cancels your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps you lower your bills all in one place. I'm talking convenience. With the same convenience that you signed up for a service that you probably didn't want, you can also sign up for a service that kills that service that you signed up for that you didn't want. Over 80% of people have subscriptions they forgot about, like that streaming service you bought to watch just one show on, which I've done. I ordered the Zeus channel to watch some reality show where a bunch of men were fighting over what bed they're going to sleep in, and that's all I wanted to see. And I saw it, and I was satisfied, and I still had the thing. They'll me out. I still have the subscription. 80% of people have subscriptions they forgot about, like that streaming service you bought just to watch one show on, or that free trial that you never even use. Rocket Money will quickly and easily identify your subscriptions for you, so you can stop paying for the ones you don't want. Simply find the subscription you don't want and press cancel, and Rocket Money will cancel it for you. No more long hold times of customer service or tedious emailing back and forth. Rocket Money makes canceling subscriptions as easy as the click of a button. Over 3 million people have used Rocket Money, saving the average person up to $720 a year. I'll tell you right now, that's a lot of motherfucking candles.
You're deeper in than you think, guys. You're a lot deeper in than you think. Do you really want to spend hours digging through all those subscription emails to see what you're subscribed to in the first place?
Stop throwing your money away. Cancel unwanted subscriptions and manage your expenses the easy way by going to rocketmoney.com/PTA. That's rocketmoney.com/PTA. rocketmoney.com/PTA. Kill those subs like a torpedo.
Kill those subs of bitches.
Yeah. I feel like crews do this. Crews have an arc where like there was a time when probably I would say MSK was undisputedly maybe the best crew in the world at one point, right? Maybe for
still are. We're just not the most active.
Right. But maybe for a long time I feel like there was no one that could touch that crew. And yeah, you guys are just like, it's just you guys aged out, so you can't be putting your ass on the line as much.
Yeah.
And doesn't mean they're still not, you know, amazing, but now a lot of crews will do this. Like a lot of crews come back, and some crews do it successfully.
Yeah, some guys put in trash.
Like
yeah,
OTR came back.
OTR's great. Yeah,
in a major way. I didn't see that coming.
Right, they were like,
I turned around.
They're not even really like aesthetically the same crew, because they were like, you know, they had a heavy bus vibe.
Yeah,
like steady. Like they're more known for like tags and hands. And
now they're just like
kind of being badasses in general.
Badasses, yeah. Just totally bad boys.
Yeah, but you know, not for nothing. Like this crew has sort of set the groundwork for the structure of graffiti in the 2000s, as far as like multiple cities, multiple styles, being able to have everything from tags to pieces, throw ups. You know, mural walls, trains, all the thingies, you know.
Yeah.
Whereas like maybe in the 90s, like dudes are more specialized.
Right.
You know.
Right. Yeah, I mean it's definitely covered all bases. I mean, I gotta say that, God, seeing all the, I mean, the only person I didn't see there that I want to see was Crush. I heard he was sick.
Crush, yeah, he couldn't come through. Bless couldn't come through, family thing.
Yeah, Bless couldn't get down there.
A couple guys had family commitments.
Right.
That didn't let them come through.
Yeah. But, you know, it was an amazing event. Congratulations for putting it together.
Thank you.
And I think that, you know, I just feel like I look at all these guys and, you know, man, some of these guys have truly given their life over to graffiti in a way that is insane. Like, I'm like, that is like I thought I did when I was a kid. I was like, I'm going to do this forever. And then obviously I didn't, you know, because I started like trying to, I don't know, I just started getting my ass kicked so much. I was like, what is there anything else? And I remember just kind of like having to choose between like, well, I'm either going to do graffiti or I'm going to like, I don't know, start fucking jogging or something. Like I had to figure it out, you know, but I had too many like other things I had to fix with myself. I don't know, whatever the case may be, I didn't stay in there. But I also thought that too. I also thought that graffiti was a thing that like you pick up and you put down, like, you know, like playing lacrosse and you just think about it one day. But like it's never left. It's permeated like I'm still connected to all these guys. It's permeated everything I do. I still like it affects how I draw. It affects how I design. It affects how I look at like filmmaking. All these things. Like it's really crazy.
Well,
like,
we're kind of early-ish LA writers.
Yeah,
I'm a '90s writer. You know, LA and graffiti goes back to the '80s, but when I started, you know, when I was 14 years old, there's no such thing as a 30-year-old graffiti writer.
Oh yeah.
It didn't exist. I didn't think there was 25. And even if like you saw someone up and someone's like, yo, that dude's like 22. That's like really, really, really old. And you're like, what the fuck is wrong with that human? You know?
Oh, yeah.
Because you're supposed to be a graphic designer or a fucking tattooer or some dumb shit. I guess nowadays it's sign writers and house painters.
Right.
So, yeah, things change. And you got dudes, I live in Philadelphia. I lived in Philly for 17 years. And we got 2 crews in that city that have been around since the 70s.
Whoa.
And the leader of one of those crews, who lives in the neighborhood I live in, I won't call it my neighborhood. I just live there. He's been riding since 79.
What?
Yeah.
What crew is that?
It's a crew called GKAE, Kings in War.
And what does he write?
Cat.
Wow. 79?
Yeah, man.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, man.
So he's like in 50, 60?
50 something. Yeah. He still catches tags too.
He does?
Yeah.
Wow. It's crazy. It really gets into people's like, if it really permeates your shit. Like it's something, and unlike other things that people do, like graffiti really gets under your skin, and like it's something that I don't think you can ever, like I'm still to this day trying to figure out like better throw ups. I don't know why.
Right.
And like I keep getting tempted. I'm like, maybe I'm gonna, like maybe I'm gonna like go out, in COVID and do all this stuff. But then it's like I also have a different, like I have to live by a certain set of rules now that are like put in, like I know a bunch of other ex graffiti writers that kind of live by these rules in order to stay sober. Right. And if I do go out and do that stuff, then I have to like pay a penance for it somehow. That's kind of the rules that we live by now. So it's like I can't really do it. And like I have guys like Alexis being like, what do you like? I remember like catching tags in front of a meeting. He's like,
I remember you said that.
What are you doing? I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, and I never thought in my mind, I always thought that it was my job to do graffiti and it should be there. I never thought anything about, the only thing I thought about was not getting caught. Right. I never thought about it being like fucked up for someone else to deal with, know?
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's interesting. Like, but I'm also like, dude, I'm still so fucking impressed. Like, like everyone, the best part about the meeting too, which was great, was, like you had a microphone and a speaker and you had a speech written.
Yeah, partially. A reference.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is like, you've always taken, I remember the last one where you were giving a speech and I was like,
that was tougher last time.
Right.
I was way more nervous.
Yeah, you were more nervous.
And I felt like super robotic.
Yeah.
And you played me a clip of that before.
I did.
And I hated it so much.
Oh, yeah.
So I didn't want to terrorize myself this time as much.
Yeah.
So I made it sort of more loose and I like practiced like speaking in the mirror like for days so that but like I kept like, because I'll get lost if I feel that pressure on me talking in front of a bunch of people, even though like they're my best friends,
It's so funny too, because you just every crew does everything differently, right?
Yeah.
Like there's other crews that were like they'll never, like someone will talk and it'll be like there won't be a speech. It'll just be like fucking what's up with
Yeah.
Like everyone has a different dynamic, and I always think too is like in our crew, in the history of our crew, there's always been like rivalries inside.
Sure.
There's always been like this fool's angry, this guy's pissed off. Like because there's so many personalities, there's so many crazy fucking people.
Yeah, for sure.
And I talk to other guys about their crews. I'm like, do you guys have beefs? Like, no, we've never had beefs with each other. I'm like,
well,
really?
I've taken inspiration from like LA gang stuff.
Yeah.
I was into like baseball when I was a little kid, so like structures of teams.
Yeah.
And music, and I've been obsessed with it for so long, and I've seen a lot of the crews that I loved early on, either like they're just full of crackheads now, or just like they lost their style, like something went wrong along the lines. And like I've always like what happened? Like what made that guy that was super fucking good, that crew that was super solid, now suck? Yeah. And what we got is kind of special, and it's not by chance. Like a lot of us have worked really hard for this. Yeah. It's like there are the strong personalities. I get this, like I get to get the title of leader, even though Eclipse is, the true prime minister. Right. Supreme leader. There's a method to this, and I just don't want our crew to turn into trash.
No, it's good. I mean,
I was going to say it's hard because we do have such big personalities and such heavy talent and egos and just life and stuff. We all got to juggle all this stuff, and it's a lot. Yeah. We got a lot of guys that are really successful now. Yeah. We got some guys that are less successful now. Right. and to get all these guys in the same, parking lot, South Central, and everyone, it's all love is really beautiful.
Yeah. No, it's crazy. I mean, and also like you think about, I don't know, just the amount of talent and how much that stuff feeds off of each other.
Dude, no one stepped in this roll call. As far as like, we got like at least a dozen people. Like if they were just a dozen people were in their crew alone, no one could touch them.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's really a step beyond a lot of other crews.
No, there's some just heavy, like I just think about how too, like those, seeing how everyone progressed over the years and like went from being really good to just like, what the fuck is going on now? Like,
well, and that was one of the things I spoke on the meeting. So we got, with these dozen new guys, they're all fucking great. They're all fucking amazing fucking artists. The hopes is that they become more amazing and more productive.
Yeah.
And they really like, take somebody like Rhyme.
Yeah.
One of the best in the world.
Yeah.
Before he got in the crew.
Right.
And then he got in the crew and he got even fucking better.
Yeah.
And like his personality really like meshed well, and he found a groove, and he helped us get so much better.
Yeah.
And he got so much better. And that's really like, not everyone's gonna be Rhyme. He's totally fucking one off. But
that's who I was thinking of too, about someone who like got better and then also like that's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, how do you like there's somewhere you go with graffiti where
you hit the ceiling?
No, like I think you get to a point where it's like everything you do, no matter what happens, no matter what your materials are, is really, really, really good. It's like a flow state.
Oh, sure, yeah. But
right?
no. Some people lose it though, man. There's plenty of people that have fucking lost it. They were so fucking amazing, and maybe they, maybe just there's like mental health creeping on them or something, or maybe they did a little too many sniffy things, or whatever it was. Something fucking shifted, and they lost that.
But I feel like some of those, I feel like there's got to be 5 or 6 guys who, no matter what, let's say you put them in a sarcophagus for 10 years and let them out, they'll still be insanely
some of them,
like Rhyme, like those guys are like,
they're too good.
They're too good. Like I've never seen a bad, like after like even their awkward phase was really good, right? Everyone has an awkward phase,
sure.
But even like after that, where they're still killing it in that time and space. If you put it up against everything else's shit, they're still killing it.
Well, they're really progressive artists. They don't like, they don't, there's a lot of writers, and for better or worse, and I'm not mad at them, that just do the same fucking thing, repeat it forever. And that is a very special thing in graffiti. But those guys have never, speaking specifically about Rhyme and Revoke, they've never been afraid to take chances.
Yeah.
And if you look at, 100 fucking pieces of theirs.
Yeah.
There's gonna be a couple that are a little samey, but there's the diversity, and it's just like one flex after another.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's really hard to step to.
No, it's insane. It's insane. I think there are other groups in the world that exist that are, there's societies and clubs that have always existed, and like they're doing things like, manipulating the weather and, making stocks tank and,
all that good stuff. Buying all the properties in the neighborhood.
Yeah, buying all the properties in the neighborhood, or like secretly, making the price of corn rise, and then
the water one now.
Yeah, is there water?
So like since I've been here in LA, there's like a thing in Philly where like some fucking latex plant dumped a bunch of fucking chemicals in the river.
Yeah.
Which just gets Philly's drinking water. But like people are like, no, actually it's Nestle. Like they just like put out a fake news thing so everyone bought their fucking bottled water.
Oh God.
Anyway, sorry to
it's so
sidetrack.
burnt. Yeah, we're so burnt, dude.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, I mean it's I don't know if I think every year, every generation, I think the world does get worse. I think it doesn't really get better.
Better and worse.
Right? And I think like some things get better, but I think like the toxicity of the world and like how badly we're fucking it up,
I think there's just too many of us. And I don't want to be like, I'm for population control, but I don't understand how we can keep going.
No,
honestly.
It's not sustainable.
Like when you're like I'll watch like something about like the pollution in like Bangladesh or Indonesia or India, and I'm just like, oh my God, we're so fucking gross, dude.
Bro.
I was like watching these people, they were going down some river in India, and it's like this beautiful green river, and there's a confluence. And this river that bumps into this other river is only shit.
Right.
Like they're in a green river,
yeah.
And then they get to the fucking shit river, and like it's just shit. Like where else does shit go? Like we poop so much.
Dude,
Like
that's
just think about the trash. I watched this whole thing on the trash in New York City and like what they have to do in that city. Just like, you know, they get the trash, compact the trash, and they just ship it out of the city. They ship it to fucking Kentucky or Tennessee or fucking Pennsylvania.
They gotta start sending that
where
shit.
do we put all this shit?
We got to start figuring out how to get all this stuff into space. It's expensive. Everything's too expensive. That's why they won't do it. Everyone
make the moon a trash dump.
Yeah, or just fucking make asteroids out of it. I don't know, like
giant trash balls.
Yeah, trash balls, man.
Yeah.
That space
Trash
is infinite.
balls. That's what's
Bro,
up.
space
Just
is
kick it
infinite,
out.
dog. You know why we can't do it? Because everything costs too much. If they found a cheap way to get shit into space, we could save our asses.
But could they get the trash ball past the firmament?
What's the firmament?
That's like one of those flat Earth fucking things.
Oh,
where
yeah.
They think the whole Earth is
Oh, the
capped
dome.
by some fucking like snow
it
globe type
might
fucking
hit the
thing.
dome and go bong and come back down.
Go back to India.
Yeah, go back to India. No, I see that. I see those like river. You know, there's like a river in Colombia or somewhere in South America where it's just like completely clogged with just so much trash.
Yeah,
just trash, just fucking trash, bottles. And I'm like looking at it, I'm like, this is the saddest thing. Like, it's so sad, and it makes me feel so bad. And I'm also just like, I don't think there's anything I can do to ever make it even a dent in it. You know?
Yeah, it's hard to wrap your head around it.
It's hard to wrap your head
lot,
around it.
you know?
Yeah. We're just kind of fucking.
Well, we're lucky. As shitty as America has its things, you know, especially in LA, it's like it's very evident that there's issues.
Yeah.
We're still really fucking lucky. You know. Really fucking fortunate.
Yes. We're still because we're not in a third world country where all the like I think there's probably places where there's probably third world countries where we send our shit too. There's probably places where we're just like, you know what, let's just send this to fucking Ecuador. You know, it's like they're just like fuck it. You know, it's like on a bigger scale. I think that the richer countries are shitting on the smaller countries in the same way rich neighborhoods shit on smaller neighborhoods.
Yeah,
you know,
it's a human
it's just
characteristic
kind of deal,
trait.
So I don't know if I asked you about this last time you were here. I probably did, but like, what do you think? Like, why? Like, do you think about what motivates people to become graffiti writers?
I think about it all the time.
Yeah.
I think about why people set fires. I say that all the time.
Right.
It's a combination of everything. You know, I think most of us are kind of fucked up. It's sort of like this like outcry. I think, you know, there are some people who do it for creativity. You know, it's funny. Last time I was on here, like I did that horrible mistake of reading the comments.
Oh God, don't do that.
I know. I love to torture myself. But you know, like someone's like, "Oh, what all this crybaby shit?" Like, I just do it to bomb. And I'm just like, yeah, but there's that's just the surface. You know, there's definitely like underlying issues for most of these guys.
Right.
And if you give like the top 50 best graffiti writers of all time, I'm gonna guarantee 47, 48 of them are like fucked up humans deep down inside. You know, there's some like underlying issues.
Yeah, well, no one's doing graffiti because they're like incredibly healthy minded and come from a great place. A lot of people do. Some people come from a great home. Some people get obsessed with graffiti, unfortunately.
Right.
Some people come from
the best ones, the most savage, like cutthroat graffiti writers.
Yeah.
There's something a little off.
There's something off. I mean, I think that like even the most well balanced graffiti writers are still gonna like you're gonna tell me Gary doesn't have OCD?
He's got something.
There's no way.
Yeah.
You can't do that. There's no way you could be that good. He must he must know how to count dust. Mm-hmm. Like he must know how many particles are in the air at all times. Mm-hmm. You know, like I don't know. Like
I think that's the only thing. I mean, we might have talked about this last time. It's like whether you're in a fucking football or guitar.
Yeah.
It's like it takes that obsession to get you.
It takes that obsession
to be good.
And that's the thing that blows my mind is like I feel like people, you know, as someone who was evolved and is, you know, watches it all the time. Like when I see guys like, you know, Gary and Royds, right? Mm-hmm. And I see what they do. I'm like, I don't think people understand what they're doing. Like outsiders, like don't understand the history of graffiti and like where it all comes from.
Well, that's art in general though. You know, like there's like this thing with people that just like, a lot of people like hate art. Okay. You ever meet people, they're just like, it's a waste of time.
What? I've never seen.
Oh, dude, trust, dude. Read. Let's say there's a public, let's say there's a wall in your neighborhood.
Yeah.
And the wall, they gave the artist $50,000.
Yes.
And that becomes public.
Sure.
Read the comments in that. Well, we could use that $50,000 for all these other things.
Right.
You know, and a lot of people, it doesn't even like register to them. Like they don't see it. They're not into it.
Right.
I paint people's homes for a living, and the vast majority of them don't give a shit about art.
I mean, you're also in a working class neighborhood in Philly, right?
No, I live in a working class neighborhood. I work in the 2 counties over where it's like a mixture of suburban sprawl and rural like horse country.
Yeah, I mean those guys don't really give a shit about fucking.
Nah, but that's most of America.
I get. Yeah, I forget. I forget.
There's stuff outside the cities.
Yeah. I mean, I live in the pocket of like the most like I'm in the middle of fucking Echo Park, which is in the middle of East LA, which is it's just like I'm in the nexus of the fucking one of these like hubs of just like everyone is we're paying $25 for a smoothie and like
sure
and like shopping for pants all
and
the
the
time.
rest of the country hates you,
right? And the rest of the country is like we're gonna roll coal and fucking drink Mountain Dew Code Red and and you're idiots and like we probably are.
There's
idiots.
a lot of like people calling each other idiots. You know, I think it's just like I don't really care about that stuff. I've been all over America. I've never been really outside of America too much.
Right.
But there's usually something you can relate to anybody, But, a lot of these areas, though, when I work in my area, I don't really talk about graffiti. It's like almost like a double life.
Right.
Because it doesn't really make sense to a lot of people.
Right.
Especially because I'm 46 years old.
They don't want to. They also are like, what? They don't.
Like, why?
They're like, can you just paint this eggshell white? I don't.
Yeah. But even in the cities, like I remember when I did time, like I'd meet hood dudes that did much more serious crimes than I did, and I got more time than they did. And they're like, the thing they just kept saying, if it doesn't make dollars, then it makes sense. I'm like, that's not really what it's about for me.
Yeah.
Maybe a little more now at this age.
Yeah.
Because time's precious. But it just like, it doesn't compute,
Right.
People can't fathom like exerting that energy and taking all those risks for something that doesn't,
Right.
you don't get dividends at the end.
No, there's no. And we talked about that last time too, where it's like there is no. It's just like a very. I don't know, to give yourself to something like that where there is no end game or payout is just a very interesting.
But that's the greatest part of it.
Yeah, it's
that's what art is also, art and music.
Right. No, I think about that shit all the time too. There's something I don't know if it's like I don't know what it really is. Is it like being a Buddhist? Is like just being like I'm gonna play this guitar. Like I won't play the guitar because I'm just like I don't want to play the guitar unless I'm gonna like figure out how to do it really well, and I'm not gonna do it really well, so I'm not gonna play the guitar. And that's a dumb reason to not do things. Right. I think
Yeah.
I've gotten better at doing other stuff, and even just doing it for the sake of doing it. But yeah, no, it's really interesting. It's also like it takes you over. Like I said, nothing's worse than getting too good at graffiti because you will never quit.
Yeah, but you gotta enjoy it though too. Because there's been times where I've sprayed a bunch for like a week, and then at the end of the week I'm just like I don't really give a fuck about any of that I just did. And I'll take some time off.
Yeah.
And then, but I'll catch like a couple of tags at a certain time, and I'm like on fire in my head. I just like love it,
Yeah.
So it's like you just got to do what feels good, Like I've been here a long time. Like, it's okay to take breaks here and there.
Yeah. What about your kid? If he comes to you, how old's your kid? 8?
I got a 17-year-old and a 4-year-old.
Oh, yeah, you have a 7.
I
somehow conflated their ages. Fuck, you have a 17-year-old. What the fuck?
Yeah.
So he's just like, is he out there boning and shit? What's he doing?
I don't know.
17
he doesn't want to talk about that with Dad.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to pry too much. I don't want to be too gross.
Does he have like a Philly beard and some Timberlands?
No, no, he doesn't. But like, he likes rap music and stuff. And,
yeah.
And I bought him a card for Christmas. And
fuck yeah.
I did this thing on my Instagram. I did these like these brick panels I caught tags on, and that gave me bread to buy him a Grand Marquis.
That's awesome.
Brother Man car, so he can fit all his buddies in there.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Damn, that's hard. That's a big ass car.
Yeah, you know what? He just wants to hang out with his friends. He doesn't give a shit
course.
about anything else.
17.
Go to parties.
Yeah.
I hope he doesn't drink too much. Like.
I mean, that's all I want to do at 17. But
exactly.
It was like I started doing graffiti because I just was like. I draw comics and like this is like
sure,
and like this is what I had a misconception of what graffiti was. I was like, oh, this is like I like this music and this is the art that's connected to that music. And if I draw comics, I started doing graffiti before I met any of you guys, And then it turned into a thing where it's like you start getting involved with like a crew, and I'm like, wait, I got to be in this crew because like I need this like support.
Right.
You know, like I needed to have a bunch of people around me because I didn't have anyone around me at home. So I was like, I need to have these guys. And I remember it being so important to me to be a part of this thing because you had like, you became esteemable and, you know, but then like you get into that thing and then there's like it's a whole other thing. You have to struggle with like dealing with the hierarchy and the you know, the politics of being in a crew and like navigating all of that. And like,
but more of the black and white, like I don't particularly want my eldest to be part of graffiti because I know the suffering and whatever like dumb stuff he's doing, partying with friends and stuff is so lightweight. Like 17-year-old me was stealing every day.
yeah.
B&Es, drugs.
Yeah.
Risking life, hanging, you know, taking these like these monumental risks for like minimal gains, like little like risk my life.
Who's your one partner you were doing Heavens with for like a summer? It was that kid. He kind of dropped
There's
out.
a few of them. So like my first ones were with Fate.
Yeah. But it was this kid. He
And then
disappeared.
this other dude, Donor, and then Juice.
Juice. Maybe it was Juice.
Yeah, Juice.
Yeah.
He was like an Orange County skater kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys were running.
I tried to get him to come to the meeting. I couldn't make it happen.
Is he still writing?
No, fuck no. He so he's like one of those dudes that's just naturally talented. He
Yeah.
wanted to be a skater and he was almost pro and then got tired of it and then he wanted to be a graffiti writer and he was one of the most up in the city with me
Yeah.
in
Obsessive.
the mid-90s. Yeah. And then he was over that and then he became an orthodontist. And
Get the fuck out of here.
yeah, apparently he has 2 offices
There's
down
no
there
way.
in like El Toro, Orange County.
There's no
down there.
fucking ways
Yeah,
in
blowing out
orthodontist.
of control.
That's amazing. See, that blows my mind more than a bodybuilder
Yeah.
graffiti writer. Imagine you're getting your teeth done, and it's just like he's like, "Oh, are you GK?" You're like some random dude. He's like, "Yeah, I'm Zorlak Oner. We used to fucking bomb the 5." I remember getting up on a Heaven once.
You did not.
Yeah, I did. I got up on a Heaven one time.
What freeway?
Somewhere down south. I remember. I got
South
up on.
of LA?
Yeah, it was like.
Yeah, I'm talking about the one in OC, the one that was connected to there's like a ramp right there and you can like basically walk on it.
Maybe.
Yeah, it's down by Irvine.
Might have been. It might have been.
Yeah, fool, I know.
Well, I got up on it and I was on the thing and like I was like trying to paint shit and like a fucking semi went under it and the whole thing shook and I was like, fuck. I was done. That was
So-
it. That was when I was like, I'm not doing
The
that
freeway
again.
signs and some bridges, depending on how long they are,
Yeah.
they have movement with the truck. I tried to hit a bridge not too long ago and it just shook way too much for me. Like every time an 18-wheeler went on it, like I felt like it was going to bounce me off of it.
Yeah.
But I have an old story in the 90s with a couple of buddies, and we were partying in Agora,
Yeah.
and I took at least 1 hit of acid, but I think I took more than 1. And we were like going out to this kid's truck, and we were putting our paint in the truck, and the cops rolled on us.
Yeah.
And we had all the paint lined up on the bed.
Yeah.
And they're like, "What are you guys doing with all this stuff?" And I was like so fucking high, and I was hallucinating
running
really
acid.
bad on the sirens.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Oh
they
my
were just
God.
like it was melting and all the acid stuff, you know.
Yeah.
But they let us go. Like we didn't really do anything. We
Just
we were
like-
clearly gonna do something.
What part of town were you in?
We were in Agora.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
Just some white guys in a girl just doing some.
it was a
painting.
mix. It was 2 Mexicans, 2 whites.
And they let you guys go.
Yeah, they let us go. So anyway, we drive in the city, and I'm pretty wasted, and we're in Boyle Heights, and me and Donor, we climbed up this Heaven, and in my state, every single car on the freeway was a Buick Regal or a Oldsmobile Cutlass,
Right.
with like a bald head inside it.
Right.
And I was like, it's weird. It's like a whole city of just bald head, like Regal driving fucking cholos.
Yeah.
And so I climbed up and I was doing the front, the green side.
Yeah.
And I only had stock caps. I didn't have fat caps.
Yeah.
And I did my letters as tall as I could reach.
Yeah.
And I did my outline. Then I had to fill in the whole thing, which
Yeah.
took me a fucking lifetime, right? You know,
Yeah.
like this new paint for those that don't know, like graffiti comes from hardware stores.
Yeah.
It doesn't come from art stores.
Yeah, yeah,
you know,
yeah.
like it comes from like the same place you get a fucking hammer.
Yep.
You know, not the same place you get a tube of acrylic.
Yeah.
So I'm up there and I'm like using I'm using Rusto probably.
Yeah.
Maybe Cron, probably Rusto. And I'm trying to fill this thing in. It's taking forever and ever and ever and ever. And I wasn't paying attention to Donor, and he went around to the backside of the heaven. And I'm up there and I look over and he's gone. And I'm like, oh my God.
You're on acid.
I'm on acid.
Jesus Christ, dude.
And I was like, oh my God, that's crazy. And then the heavens started shaking. And I thought it was a fucking earthquake. And I kind of held on to things for a second. And I'm, in my head, like my imagination is getting away from me. And I'm just like picturing like a apocalyptic like movie where like downtown crumbles, you know, like
yeah.
And I'm like, that's happening right now, and on this fucking freeway sign. But what happened was Donor went to the back of the sign, and he was climbing on the bars back there, and it was shaking the thing.
Was he on acid too?
I don't remember.
Why would you ever paint a heaven on acid? That's fucking
I
crazy.
used to do all sorts of things on acid that I would never do nowadays.
I didn't know you did that much acid.
Acid, ecstasy.
Ecstasy was big.
I remember like being in high school and just being on acid in high school.
Oh yeah.
Like in second period.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I got kicked out of all my classes, so I had like 2 classes. Then I was like office aide for like the rest of the day.
Right.
And so I'd be in the office with the principals and the vice principals and the guidance counselors, fucking high as balls, you know, and like they had like avocado shag carpet in the office.
Yeah.
And I'm just like laid out on this couch, like waiting for them to like tell me to take a something to a classroom or something. And there's like dolphins jumping out of the fucking carpet and shit. You're just like trying to stay focused on like not getting myself in trouble, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I could see that. I could see going to school maybe, or like, you know, taking shrooms, like I would take shrooms and not tell people and just be hanging out with them all day. And
at the meeting, there were a handful of people on mushrooms.
Oh yeah, I believe.
Yeah.
Oh, people were fucked up. I was like looking, I was like, wow, these fools are getting fucked up in here.
Yeah. But the good drugs, not the bad drugs.
Yeah, only
People
good
get fucked
drugs.
up. Yeah.
I mean, all in all, it was a very like happy and joyous event, you know, and like seeing dudes came out of the woodwork. I just had not. I'm like, I haven't seen like Just or Nice or any of these guys. Like,
yeah.
And everyone was fucking painting. And I was like, holy shit. I underestimated how like, I mean, it's hard to even register all the faces.
Yeah.
Because your brain's like, wait, what? You know, you're seeing
It was
like
a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was down there for like 4 days.
Really?
Yeah. You took the light route. You were only there for a few hours.
No, I was there the whole day.
Okay. Well, I believe you. I couldn't really see everybody.
The one day I was there, but I was like, I had all this shit I had to do on Sunday, and I was like, if I fucking start painting, I'm gonna have to come back. I'm like, there's no way it's gonna be a nightmare.
Tell the truth though.
What?
You were scared to paint.
I wasn't scared to paint. I knew I could pull it off. I just knew it was gonna take me a long time, and I was
There's
scared.
Still room.
What do you mean, really?
Yeah.
Where?
On the walls.
Oh, we still have access?
I think so. Yeah. We're friends with the people that
I could go
run the building.
I mean, are they gonna leave that thing running?
I mean, yeah, for sure.
I could get something in there. That could be sick.
You might have to stand on a ladder though.
Oh, fuck that! I fucking hate that.
Yeah, I made sure I didn't get a ladder
hate
spot.
A fucking ladder.
Yeah,
So that makes
It's
that
really
doubles
extra.
your time.
At least, yeah.
Every time I do a piece, there's just a period where I'm excited. I do the sketch, sick. In my mind, I'm like, this is gonna be really cool. I'm gonna lay this down. I'm gonna do it this way. 6 hours in, I go, I can't finish.
This is too much work.
I can't
Well, my piece was near impossible because like I'm conversating with people. I try to pick the spot all the way at the end.
Yeah.
I like the way it was framed out. It was like the back of these like metal doors.
Yeah.
But the joke was I painted in like 7-minute intervals.
Right.
And when I had time to paint, I'd like paint as fast as I could.
Yeah.
Because someone's gonna be like, "Yo, Tim," and I'd be like, and I'm happy to see them. I want to talk with them.
Yeah.
But like at the end of this one day, like the piece looked like trash, and I was just like, I don't know if I can pull it. And I tried to do like a piece I'd never done before, like a sketch I'd been sitting on for like 6 months.
Right.
So it was new to me. I wasn't like, I mean, it looked like a piece I would do.
Yeah, I was scared because I knew that I was going to
Thank
get
you
into
for
the
being
weeds.
honest.
I was going to get into the weeds, and I also my mind was not in the place to do it. Like,
Sure.
I got a lot of shit in my mind right now, and I'm like, I just like I'm a little distracted, and to say the least. And like, I think that I just was like, if I do this, it's going to be a very painful thing for me to do.
That's good. You got to go through that pain sometimes. Man.
Sometimes I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Just
Man.
suffer a little bit.
I mean, I think I've suffered enough. I don't need any more suffering.
No. You're gonna
Suffer some more.
We all suffer.
Life is suffering.
That's what they
apparently.
say. Yeah.
That's what they say. You
That's
just
what my
got
tattoo says.
You just got to do it. Life is pain. You know, not always, but you know, there's going to be. We all pretend that there isn't going to be pain, but there's going to be pain.
Yeah,
and you're going to get. Nobody goes through life pain free.
Yeah.
You know,
What's the fun in that?
No, there's no fun in that because if everything was pain free, then the good stuff would feel so good, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, if we can wheel it back to the meeting thing, it's like a lot of these guys have had different paths, and a lot of us have suffered. We lost a lot of friends in that time. You know, some of the guys that were like funny crazy are only crazy now.
Right.
and it's something that happens, like, so it's like, I think it's great that, you're doing well. All these guys are doing really well.
Yeah. But in order for me to do well, I have to run an extremely tight ship.
Sure.
Because if I don't, I'm just as crazy as everyone else. Like I have to fucking keep myself on such like and it's not like it's hard. It's hard. It's not like I don't enjoy regimenting things, but if I don't like get up and do my shit and fucking go to do all these things.
Yeah, but that's what's changed in my life. So it's like the graffiti thing before was the 100% destructive.
Yeah.
Like fuck my life up, trying to fuck my life up,
yeah,
trying
yeah,
to fuck everyone else. I want everyone to know how unhappy I am right now.
Yeah. Also, you were also seeking out danger. You were for a long time a danger addict.
Yeah, for sure.
You go into neighborhoods and
Absolutely.
like and get cholos to chase you.
Okay, I got a story about that. But nowadays the thing is graffiti's it's like my treat. It's my candy.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like if I get a chance to go out and get a good highway spot in Philly.
Yeah.
I'm on fucking cloud 9 for a couple days.
Right.
I'm like, right. It was like a fucking good fucking good meditation or
right.
like yoga fucking retreat for
right.
me. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like it's cleansing. Like I don't really need to do mushrooms to get that cleanse on the other side.
Right.
But I would do mushrooms. But,
yeah, it really pays you out. Mm-hmm. What were you gonna say? You're gonna tell me a story about?
Oh, about going down to other neighborhoods. So we didn't have any jail stories last time I was on.
Oh, we're gonna have some now?
Well, it reminded me of one.
Hi, everybody.
You.
This is the extremely low energy graffiti podcast. This is GK is the NPR of graffiti writers. He's the Lakshmi Singh of graffiti.
Nice.
And he's
I don't ever call me that before.
And we're going to take it to another level because we're going to go over to the Patreon and we're going to talk about some incarceration tales, some jail stories, some penitentiary punditry, if you will, and if you may. And we're going to talk about the times when GK made a spread and fed 36 men with one meal. And
part of the Red Seas.
Part of the Red Seas and became the meanest piece of wood on the pile. So we're going to...
we're a pizza wood?
The meanest piece of wood on the pile.
That'd be sick for an Italian fucking pecker wood.
The pizza wood? Hey, it's pizza wood. Oh.
Fuck out of here.
Fuck out of here. If you want to hear more stories about pizza wood and things of that nature, go to the Patreon. And I got to tell you something. Call to action. It's $5. Okay, it's $5 a month. GK doesn't pay for anything. I personally, the way Patreon's structured, I have to pay for it so I can hear my own shit. And once in a while, I like to listen to an episode just to see how did that come off? How was my enunciation? And what did Jason fuck up this time? This is kind of what I like to do and check. I like to check his homework. But come to the Patreon. It's $5 a month. If you can't afford that, then you can't afford to live. Join us. We're here for you. GK is going to tell us some amazing jail stories.